Good morning. We are going to discuss today nuisance. The word nuisance is been derived from a French word nuire or a Latin word nocere. The meaning of those two words are to hurt or to annoy. So what is nuisance? Nuisance means anything done by the defendant which annoys the plaintiff or which hurts the plaintiff. This is not a direct trespass. Okay, what is a trespass? Without a permission, if somebody comes in your land or in your house, then that is a trespass. That is a direct entry to your land, to your property. That is called as a trespass. But nuisance is not a trespass. What is a nuisance? You are having full right to enjoy your property. You are having the right to live in peace in your home. But what your neighbor is doing something. He is not directly entering into your house or entering into your land. He is doing something on his land, at his home, because of which you are getting annoyed. You are getting affected. That is called as a nuisance. Therefore, nuisance means anything which is been done to hurt or annoy the person, the plaintiff, amounting to a tort but not amounting to a trespass. It is different from trespass. The essentials of nuisance are: the first is injury to the right of a person to enjoy his own property. Means you are having a right to live in your home very peacefully, very nicely. You want to take sleep also very nicely. But your neighbor is doing something which annoys you. So he is doing something on his land which is affecting your right of possession of your property, or undisturbed possession of your property, or enjoyment of your property, enjoyment of your life. That is called as a nuisance. Means what my neighbor has done, he has brought a karaoke, or he is having a sound system, music system, and at any time in the night or daytime, he is using it with a he is making noise in his house. Because of that noise, I am not able to live in my own house. I am not able to sleep also. That is called as a nuisance. Therefore, the first essential is injury to the right of a person in his land, in which he is having a right to live peacefully, undisturbed enjoyment that has been disturbed. And the second is, it is not a trespass. I told you, trespass is what? Trespass is a direct entry in your land. And what is nuisance? Nuisance is affecting the right to enjoy your land. The sound which he is doing, or he is singing, or he is ringing the bells, whatever he is doing in his own land, in his own home he is doing, but that is disturbing you. That is called as a nuisance. Nuisance is a continuing wrong, because the defendant is going to do it continuously. Therefore, it is a continuing wrong. There is a specific tort or continuing torts. So, nuisance is a continuing tort. There are two types of nuisance. One is a private nuisance. The other is public nuisance. Means whatever is done by the defendant, if that is affecting a particular person, then that is called as a private nuisance. While if it affects group of people, the public, then that is called as a public nuisance. The main difference is only this, that it is affecting one individual or whether it is affecting the people who are living in the vicinity. If it is affecting people who are living in the vicinity, that is called as a public nuisance. See, now if my neighbor is doing something which is affecting me alone, then that is a private nuisance. So I will file a case, isn't it? I will file a case because that is affecting me. That is a tort against me. Therefore, I will file a case against him and ask for what? Ask for compensation, because he has disturbed me, he has annoyed me, he has caused me damage. Therefore, I will file a case against him. Others will not file for me because they are not disturbed. So I will file a case and ask for compensation. Compensation is the main remedy in private nuisance. While public nuisance, what is a public nuisance? It is affecting group of people. So group of people have to come to the court. Public has to come to the court, and when public is coming to the court, or two or more people from the public are coming to the court for that nuisance, telling that see the defendant is doing public nuisance, at that time they will not ask compensation, they are going to ask for stopping that nuisance. That is, they are going to ask injunction. So in a public nuisance, a private person, that is an individual, cannot file a case. One alone person cannot file a case. Two or more people are required, and they are going to ask the main remedy, injunction. But sometimes a private person also, an individual also, can file a case for public nuisance if injury is caused to him directly. If there is a substantial loss to him, then only they can file a case and ask for compensation. I'll repeat. In private nuisance, an individual can file a case and he can ask for compensation. In a public nuisance, it is the public who will file a case and they will ask injunction, mostly injunction. But one of the person, individual in the public, he is directly affected by that nuisance, injury is caused to him, special damage is caused to him, then he can file a case for public nuisance and ask for compensation. The provisions relating to filing of a case for private nuisance or public nuisance is mentioned in our Civil Procedure Code. And for public nuisance, we are having provisions in the previous CRPC, that is now the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. Section 152 to Section 162 of BNSS deal with public nuisance, where the provisions are that you can make a complaint to the district magistrate and he will take an action against the person who is doing that public nuisance. He will ask him, he will order him to remove that public nuisance. And in Civil Procedure Code, two or more persons with the permission of the court, they can file a case of public nuisance, or the Advocate General also can file a case. Here also the case is being filed for removal of the nuisance or injunction of the nuisance, stopping the nuisance. So for the provisions of public nuisance are in CPC section 91 and in BNSS in 152 to 162. While the provisions of private nuisance are general, as in any tort, a case is being filed under civil law, this also case will be filed by the plaintiff and he will prove that the defendant has done that nuisance, private nuisance, he is causing discomfort to him, he is damaging my property, he is causing discomfort to me, and accordingly he can ask for injunction, compensation, or he can ask also for abatement. ABATEMENT, abatement, that is removal of nuisance. So these are the remedies which are available in private and public nuisance. First you have to consider whether it is a private nuisance or public nuisance. We'll see one case. The name of the case is Salton versus DeHeld. This case is also called as ringing of bell case. The plaintiff was residing near a chapel, and in the chapel there was a bell which used to ring continuously at any time in day and night. It was causing discomfort not only to the plaintiff but also to many people. So the court has held here that this is a nuisance, and therefore they pass an order to the chapel that they should not ring the bell at any time continuously because it is causing nuisance to the public. Got it? Noise pollution can also be called as a type of a nuisance only. Bye bye. See you in the next lecture.